Most people don't fail because they're lazy. They fail because they're comfortable. We chase titles, money, status, and still feel stuck. But what if the problem isn't your work ethic? It's the way your brain is wired to protect you.
People actually fear change. A lot of people aren't taking the actions they need. Discipline first, confidence takes time. Most people are after the title.
Because of the money?
Yes.
But does success come with a cost?
Absolutely. If it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you. Instead of saying impossible, it's I'm possible.
Do you think most people secretly don't want to succeed?
I don't think people don't want to succeed, but I think they don't want to put the effort.
They want the magic lamp.
Yes, exactly.
It doesn't work like that, though.
No, and that's where the most successful clients, if you're thinking about coaching, you have to be ready. And when you know you are fully committed and ready to do this, your life will change.
How do you know you're ready? What is ready?
Ready is when you're tired of doing circling over and over again. Years have gone by and nothing has changed. You feel stuck. That's when you know you're ready. When you are tired of living the life that you currently have and you know you have more potential.
Do people fail because they're lazy? Or do they fail because they just don't know how to go about things?
I love that you're asking that because this is a really relevant topic that's coming up right now. And so failure is not because people are lazy or they're not capable. In fact, we're all very capable and we have all this information. We've read the books, we've done the courses, but people just don't know how to take that aligned action and to be intentional. People actually fear change. And so a lot of people aren't taking the actions they need to move forward.
Why is it we're afraid of change? What could happen?
Great question. And that's what I tell people they should ask themselves. Most people are like, what if I fail? What if I do this? And I'm like, maybe you should start thinking about what if you don't do it? If it doesn't challenge you, it doesn't change you. And that's where people are always go back saying, gosh, I wish I would have done this 10 years ago.
You're a brain coach.
Yes.
What is a brain coach? You
Yes.
do this for a living.
The different parts of the brain, you actually learn not just the art of coaching, but the science behind coaching and how to understand the brain and how to help people rewire their mindsets. When you really think about your passions and purpose and your why, that can drive you to do things that you never thought possible.
It sounds like brain rewiring is a scientific thing that works.
It does. The proven things that, this is why brain coaching is important. We all know you need goal setting. We know you need mindset shifts. We know that you need to uncover and overcome limiting beliefs. There's all these things that need to take place for you to see transformation. And it's important to have accountability. A lot of people try to do stuff alone, but you have to have a friend, a significant other, a family member, someone that you can talk to and say, hey, I'm really struggling with something. I'm getting some coaching or I'm trying to change my life.
A support system.
A support
A
system.
strong support system. And I would think someone who's not just sugarcoating things, somebody who's keeping it real with you.
A lot of people are like, I don't need a coach. I don't need help. Everybody needs direction in their life. They need a guide.
We live in a world where people just want things versus actually following through.
Oh, yes. I see what you're saying.
These things. Potential of seeing yourself as something and wanting it versus actually executing and having that plan.
Yeah, and that's why a lot of people feel they have failure because not everybody is willing to take the time and effort to change. It takes time. It takes a lot of effort.
And patience.
And patience. Patience is a big one. People want to protect themselves, so they're like, I don't even want to even try that because if I do it, I could fail. A lot of people get challenged and asked to do things at work that they're like, I've never done that. I don't want to do it. I could look like a failure. I could lose my job. But what I will say is you should raise your hand to the challenging work that people are asking you to do or volunteers for. If you get the help you need, no matter who it is, there's different ways you can get help, counselors, therapists, coaches.
Is motivation a scam?
I do not believe that motivation is a scam. I think when you can foresee, if I do this, then this will happen, that can deeply motivate people to do things. And I think people sometimes have to see, what will happen? What will the outcome be of this? Does that resonate with me? And if it does, then I'm going to be highly motivated to do those things.
Is everyone capable of being successful?
Everybody is capable of being successful, but they have to be intentional. They have to be intentional about learning. They have to develop new skills.
Do you have intentional And then you have survival.
Yes.
And we are in a hustle culture.
Oh, yeah.
Is that hustle culture making us weaker?
For some people it can. Is not everybody can do it alone. Some people may have limiting beliefs that hinder their success. Figure out what is that underlying issue, and starting to get more self-awareness will help them move forward.
When I think of people like Warren Buffett, Elon Musk, some of the people who are incredibly successful, what do you think the secret is?
I think what really helps them is their mindsets, to get back up and keep trying, to pivot and to adapt as quickly as possible, to figure out what are those challenges, what are the things people need, and how am I going to build that for them. Oprah, for instance, what a lot of people don't know is she actually got fired from her first TV show. They were telling her that she was too emotional, but that being too emotional became her superpower. So when people constantly are telling you you can't do something, there's a drive within you that makes you want to do it more.
Would you say that failure is a necessary part of success?
Absolutely. Because if you're not failing, you're not growing. And people see failure as, oh, I should never do that again because I failed at it. But what it should do is it should help give you that drive. It's your first attempt in learning.
Do you remember the moment that you failed?
And when I was 17 years old, and I stayed in the same company for 10 years. If you want to talk about failure, I actually was very successful, but in a way, I look at that as a failure that I was so content. I was okay staying where I was. I knew it like the back of my hand. I mastered it.
Is it content or comfortable?
Because I'm comfortable. I know like it's not challenging me. I don't have to worry about, oh, am I going to fail because I've done it over and over again. This is a defining moment for me because after that, my whole career, I always ask myself, am I comfortable? Is this too easy? Am I being challenged anymore? Have I mastered it? If I answer those questions and the answer is yes, then I need to move to the next role. Getting out of the comfort zone is the most important thing. What challenged me, I got laid off. And I actually paused and asked myself, what am I truly intended to do? What is my passions? What is my purpose? Just because you get laid off, you get fired, that doesn't mean you're a failure. That doesn't mean you're not capable. That doesn't mean that you don't have the skills that you need. It just means that a door is opening somewhere else where you are intended to be. It's more of a redirection, right? It's not rejection.
It's just a matter of what you as a person are willing to put into it.
Most of it, honestly, is a confidence issue. People have imposter syndrome. They believe that they're not the right person for a certain job. And this is where they can become successful. Just because you feel like you weren't worthy at some point or you're not valuable or you don't have the right skill sets, you can change that.
What would you say is the worst advice that many of us were given growing up?
The worst advice that many of us, and all of us, I'm sure, not just as a child, but also as an adult, is you need to stop focusing so much on your strengths and focus on your weaknesses. We need to focus on what's right and strong versus right and wrong. I would say about 90% is how much you should focus on your top strengths, because those are the ones that are going to allow you to have your greatest chance at success when you're using those, and not just using one, but using a combination of all 5 of your strengths. If you're not sure what those are, there is an assessment that you can take for that.
That was my next question. How do you find your strengths?
It's called Strengths Finder. That is one of the assessments that I know 100% has been proven over and over to work for people if they are intentionally using their strengths. I'm a Gallup certified strengths coach, so if people did want to get in contact with me, I could help them to get that assessment. But you can also find it online.
What is the number one question you get, and what is the biggest fear that you hear from them?
I've been getting a lot of people who are being laid off, and so they're coming to me because they're feeling stuck, they're feeling anxious. So a lot of people are coming to me and they have imposter syndrome. Because now they're letting someone else, just because a company laid them off, determine who they are as an individual. And then they start doubting themselves. They don't believe in themselves anymore. And so my biggest question is how do I get unstuck? What can I do differently? What your mind believes, you can achieve. That is my favorite quote.
That's not just a saying.
It's not.
Science.
It is.
Do you think that has to do with putting the thought out there?
It is science-backed. You know, this is why people do vision boards. I know a lot of people are like, oh, vision boards, I don't know. Not everybody believes in them, But I can tell you firsthand, I do this with all my clients. I do it with a lot of kids as well. I also want to tell people that you have to put yourself in situations that make you uncomfortable or that stretch you thin sometimes. Instead of worrying about things that I can't control, because that's another important thing, is let me focus on two things that are happening to me every day that I'm really grateful for. And when I started doing that, my world just totally changed.
Well, I'm going to second what you say. I too was nervous public speaking, but I would prepare. I had great mentors who said, you're going to have to get out of your comfort zone. I challenged myself.
I love it.
I learned something every time I'm out there.
And I love it. And you're being very authentic to share that because a lot of people probably think this just comes so natural to you. Talents are things you're born with. And the way it becomes a strength is actually you investing time in it.
Mm-hmm. Are you seeing success stories by the end of your coaching?
Yes, every single time.
What do you consider success?
I've had a client where their daughter was told by a psychologist that she has anxiety and she needs to get on meds. And my friend was like, no way. I don't want to put my kid on meds. I want to try something else. And after doing the coaching sessions, we found that it's not that she's anxious. It's that her study habits aren't good. Then you shift out of, I have anxiety to, I just need to manage my time better. Every single person who's been coming to me lately uses the word anxious. I just coach some young children and I ask them how they feel sometimes, and they were using the word anxious. And I'm like, oh my God, they're too young to be feeling so anxious.
How important is it to think positive? You hear that all the time.
It is 100% important. Remember, your mind is there to protect you. When you are telling yourself, I can't do this, I'm not good at this, I'm horrible at this, when you start believing those things, your mind is going to protect you and it's not going to allow you to move forward. But I actually heard Mel Robbins say this the other day. I love her. But she was saying actually give yourself a high five in the mirror every day. And she said over time, that will actually change the way you feel. And even power poses. And this is proven. Repeating things over and over, remember, it strengthens your neural pathways.
I'm going to get a free coaching lessons from you right now.
Yes.
Tell me where I'm going wrong. But the way I've been approaching things in my career and in my life, passion drives me. That's the first thing. And then I say, picturing myself doing that thing. And then I find out the ways to reach that goal.
The only thing I would ask you, you said you are passion. Do you know what your purpose is, and do you know what your strengths are? Those are the only things I didn't hear you mention. Mm-hmm. And when you know that, that will even drive you even further. But you have to take those aligned actions, and you have to have a timeline in which you will do it.
Walk us through right now.
Okay.
If I want to be happy, I want to be successful, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, what do I need to do?
So the key to success is to know your purpose, to know what your passions are, to use your strengths to be able to achieve and to thrive, and then never give up. You have to be persistent.
There's a massive transformation, unlike anything we've seen before, with artificial intelligence.
Yes.
How do we give hope to the younger generation and those who have lost their jobs and say, you can survive, you can bring something to the table?
Yes, in a fast, rapidly changing world that we're in with AI. Actually, I coach a lot of youth, and that is the first thing, because we do career coaching, and they're like, I'm really worried. Is AI going to take all the jobs? What kind of jobs should I do? And they're very worried, and people are fearing, but you don't have to fear. AI is not going to replace humans, because there's always disruption in our world, right? There's been times where there's disruption, and we just have to make sure that we're growing with it. So for the younger generation and even the older generations, it's very important that we continue to learn and grow. And a way to grow and to learn is learning it yourself and teaching others. Like, we should be in this together.
Is trauma a factor in failure or success?
Majority of the people that are feeling stuck today or who have limiting beliefs, it actually stems from something that happened when they were younger. Trauma definitely has an impact on people's confidence, and it's not something that can't be fixed, though. It's just, again, the right people, the right support system.
Can you resolve your trauma through the process of the brain coaching?
It really does depend on what kind of trauma they have experienced.
What's more important, confidence or discipline?
more important would be discipline first, because you have to have discipline to make the changes and be intentional and take aligned action to gain confidence. So if I were to say you have to have one or the other, confidence takes time, but if you have the discipline to want to change and to do and take the actions necessary, then you can build the confidence.
Are we preparing for a world that's not going to exist in 10 years from now?
It's just going to be very different, and we have to be able to adapt to it. And this is where I'm kind of going back to it, because to me, this is the key. Got to get your mindset right. If your mindset's not right now, you need to get it right, because it's just going to get a little bit more difficult because the world is changing so much faster.
What do you think separates the people who almost make it to the people who do make it?
If you're not driven, it's going to be really hard to get to where you want to go. It's wanting to make the change, but also having the courage to do it. A lot of people have fear, and we can't let that hold us back from the life we are intended to have.
Have you ever coached someone who had everything but was sabotaging themselves?
Oh, a lot of people have everything. On paper, they have all this, the degrees, they have all the certifications, they have all this great experience. And this is proven. It happens more with women than it does men. A lot of people hold themselves back because they don't believe in themselves. They don't have the confidence, and they're not willing to put themselves out there sometimes. You have to get creative with thinking about, what experience did I have that proves that I have done this and demonstrates that I have the ability to do this in another role.
I'm thinking about that work-life balance and how difficult it is sometimes with a family. Does success come with a cost?
Absolutely. And I was constantly working, seriously, till midnight sometimes. And there is a cost, but I was trying to get to success. And then I asked myself, and this is a powerful question, what is success?
What is the most common answer you get from your clients? Is what are they after?
Most people are after the title. Like, a lot of people are like, I want to get to this leadership
Is
level.
it the title because of the money, or is it the title because of ego?
Success to them is a title. It's, I want to get to this level. And they're working super hard. They are burning out. You hear a lot about burnout today.
So should the question be not how do we become successful, but how do we become happy?
Or fulfilled.
Fulfilled,
Yes.
satisfied.
Yes. So I think as you mature and you get more experience and you just grow as an individual, it shifts.
For the younger people who haven't gone through life experience yet and they're watching us now, what would you tell them?
Everybody needs to go through a learning experience. And so what I do tell a lot of my clients is, you are going to have in your mind what you want to do when you get out of high school and you go into college. And it's okay if you have to change your path. You kind of have to go through different experiences to see, what are you talented at? What are your strengths? Where do you thrive the most?
Is there a tool out there that can help you find your purpose?
Oh, yes, absolutely. I mean, you could go on AI and ask, what are some questions that I can ask myself to help me find my purpose? A coach can help, of course. They can contact me and I can order the assessment. Or you can just go online, do a search, Clifton Strengths. As far as finding their purpose, they just need to ask themselves simple questions. What do I get really excited about? What lights me up inside? If I could only do one thing in my career, what would it be? And start being more self-aware. When you start reflecting and you get this deep sense of self-awareness, it is going to come to you. And that's when you start doing goal setting. So write it down. If you don't write it down, you're not going to do it.
What is the single most thing that has helped you?
My persistence. I've never given up. And you know how they always say 3 times the charm? There have been jobs in my career that I really wanted that no one would have ever thought I would have gotten. And everybody kept telling me, I don't think you're going to get it. And I actually had to apply 3 times till I got it. I got declined several times. My 3rd time, a charm.
And rejection is redirection. I have had things where people told me it was literally impossible.
Yep.
And I knew in my heart
Yeah.
that it was going to happen. It was a matter of when, not if.
Both of us sitting here are living proof that truly anything you want. And instead of saying impossible, it's I'm possible.
When they say you get that gut feeling, and they say, trust your gut, is there research behind that, or any science, or is that just something that we hear?
No, I think there's truth behind it. Back to when we were kids and you're taking tests and you second guess yourself and you get it wrong and they keep telling you trust your gut. That's been happening to us for years that they tell us that.
Yeah. What is the one thing that no one talks about that needs to be talked about?
You are not alone. And I know people do say this, but I want people to know, because they truly may think, I'm different. Nobody has this experience that I do. You are different. You have a different life experience, but you can overcome anything that you put your mind to. You just need to have the persistence, the patience, the dedication. You are in charge of your story, and I want to encourage everybody to rewrite your story today with confidence.
Where to find you on social media?
Yes, LinkedIn is Eileen Suarez, and then all of the social media handles is Eileen Suarez Coach Consulting.
You definitely inspired me.
Thanks.
From
Thank
the
you.
first time I heard you speak. Thank you for
Thank
coming.
you.